Hello guys, I'm your teacher David, and let's start the Edmodo lesson. Let's start with the second unit in our book. You have to go to the page 22 and 23. The Earth's relief, okay? El relieve de la Tierra. So, firstly, we have to go to the page 24. We passes the page and we go to the page 24. And what do we find? The Earth's crust, the point 1, the Earth's crust. First of all, we have to inquire, we have to wonder, we have to make the questions, what is the Earth's crust? Well, the Earth's crust is the shallowest shallowest layer in the Earth. According to this image, you can see the crust. Okay, and the crust is composed by water on one side, and on the other hand is composed by land. You can think that there is also land under the water. So it's very important to take into account this fact. But first of all, let's check how are the different layers in our planet. First of all, we have the crust. As we said, is the shallowest layer in the world, okay? And occupies 1% of the total mass in our planet. The next layer is the mantle. The mantle is a thicker cape, a thicker layer, and occupies the 85% of the volume, total volume in the Earth, and is made of various materials, including liquid rocks or magma. Then we go to the deepest part in our planet, the inner core and the outer core. Both are, well, the hottest part in the Earth. The outer core is liquid and the inner core is solid. Okay? Outer liquid, inner solid. So the deepest one is the inner and is solid, and both of them occupies the 16% of the volume of the Earth. You have to take into account that in the core you have a temperature no less than 5,000 degrees centigrade. So it's impossible to bear, it's impossible to fear, and it's impossible to live over there. Is too hot, too much hot. Besides, you have to know that the core in general is 6,000 kilometers deeper than the core, than the crust. The core is 6,000 kilometers below the crust, so it's too deep also. Okay, this is an image, is a recreation for you to imagine, let's imagine how are the different layers in the Earth. You can see the crust on the upper part. Then we go to the mantle, the upper mantle and the inner mantle. And then the lower part is the core. 6,000 kilometers from here up to the crust. Too much distance. Alright, let's pass the page to the 25, and then we find the oceans and the continents. We have to take into consideration most of the Earth is covered by water. For instance, all over the crust, which is the total, submerged lands compose the 75% of the crust. and continents compose the 29%. So, the most of the part of the crust is covered by water, but the few parts who are land is the crust. Okay? The crust, as we said, is divided between submerged lands and continents. Submerged lands are those lands who are below the sea, okay, under the sea. And continents are those lands who are dry and are up the sea, on the sea, okay? All right. Let's take a look on the submerged lands. You can see in this image how are the submerged lands. You can see mountains under the sea, and some other parts are on the sea. The 29% of the crust is composed by lands on the sea, okay, which is the less percentage. We have to take into considerations that the crust, the part of the crust which is composed by lands who are on the level sea, on the sea, are divided in 5 continents. The most important and the biggest one is Asia. The second biggest one is America. The next is Africa. Next, Europe. And the last one, which is the smallest, is Oceania. We can also say we have different oceans. We have 5 different oceans. For instance, we have the Pacific Ocean, which is this one on the left side of the screen, and also on the right side of the screen. Besides, we have the Atlantic Ocean, which is stuck in the middle of the screen and separate America from Africa and Europe. Then we have the Indian Ocean, which is just below Asia. Then we have the Southern Ocean or Antarctic Glacial Ocean, which is just below everything in the southern hemisphere, in the down part of the screen. And then we have the glacial Arctic Ocean, which is stuck on the north, exactly just in the North Pole. Okay, five different oceans and 5 different continents. We have to take into account all of these dates. We have to take into account all the information we are studying. Okay? So, to sum up, I want all of you to pay attention to this video, because the next day I'm going to ask any of you to point out on Class Dojo. Okay? I want you to study, to watch this video the times, how many times that be necessary, the necessary times for you, and I want you to understand, I want you to learn the video, the listening, to watch the video, and then I will ask you in classroom. Okay, so good luck, and I will see you in the classroom. Good afternoon.